Hey everyone, this is Shane Mahabier, president of Funder Intel. And in today's video, I have Ken Peng. He's the director of business development and marketing for Elevate Funding. He's been in the space for just about 8 years since Elevate's inception in 2014. You may have seen him at industry conferences or on webinars or other interviews, but he's an expert in the space. So I'm really happy to have him on. Ken, welcome.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you were able to join me. And so, we're going to go over just a few things today. So, I want to talk about Elevate, obviously, what's your guys' niche and how you guys are a little bit different from other funders. Talk about underwriting criteria like fees and stips. Talk about the different laws and how they affected your guys' business in Virginia or California and anything else, other trends, and then, anything coming down the pipeline for Elevate. So,
Sure.
um, but first, let's just start with a quick, fill in the blanks for me on your background and how you got into the space.
Yeah, so like you said, I've been with Elevate since the inception about 8 years ago now. Time flies when you're having fun.
Right.
I came to Elevate from the brokerage world. So I used to work for a brokerage firm prior to this and didn't really know anything about the MCA space, didn't even know it existed. And a coworker of mine at the time told me about Heather, our CEO, who was launching this company, and I was very intrigued by it. I had a hour-long conversation with her, and that was pretty much it. I was on board. I was very excited to get into the space. It was a little bit of an adjustment coming from the brokerage side because you come from a heavily regulated FINRA regulated industry to what some would call the wild wild west of the financial world.
So it was a financial services brokerage, a stock brokerage of sorts, right?
That's right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were working with independent RIAs, helping them with managed services and software and to service their clients. So it was a little bit of a departure from what I was doing before, but
Yeah.
it's very exciting. I love it. I love the industry. I love doing what we do, and I've been here ever since.
Good. Good. All right. Perfect. So then talk to me about, Elevate then, what's your niche? How you guys are different from other funders out there? There's seemingly a new funder every week. So
Right.
yeah, tell me a little bit more about Elevate.
Yeah, so one of the things I like to tell people is that we are a true direct funder. And what we mean by that is that we are actually a direct funder. We don't have a brokerage side of things. We don't have a sales floor. We are almost entirely driven by the success of our partners, our referral partners. And so when they succeed, we succeed. So the things like backdooring, things like shopping out deals or stacking on people. We don't do anything like that. We are a first position only funder, so
Hmm.
we don't believe in stacking practices. We think that we want to be in for the long term, right? We want to help people succeed. We want to elevate them to the next level of their business. And part of that is not over leveraging them, which is what happens a lot with the stacking practices out there. That
Right.
said, we are also no credit checks. So no soft pulls, no hard pulls at any time during the process.
Interesting.
And the reason for that is, Elevate was started with the idea of helping this certain faction of folks that are easily taken advantage of in the MCA world, right? The folks that maybe don't have the best credit score, maybe they've had a history of financial hardship, bankruptcy in the past. They are easy targets for a lot of these folks out there that provide them with crazy rates or brag about doing seventh position and whatnot.
Right.
So we we exist to help folks like that. We just require that they be 3 months in business, doing at least $12,000 a month, no open bankruptcy, and that's pretty much it. Obviously we have industry restrictions and whatnot, but
Mhm.
those are our main things. We do fund non-citizens if they have an I-10 assigned. We do trucking. There are some caveats there, so we can dive into that if you want. And then we are also one of the few MCA funders out there that still do credit card splits.
Oh, good.
Which,
Okay.
yeah. So anybody that knows about the MCA industry knows, when it started, that was kind of like where it started. And
Right.
and over time, it just became easier to do ACH deals. Obviously, we love doing those too. But we do like to provide the option still.
Hmm.
And we've got about 13 different credit card processors we work with. and we can also still do lockbox as well.
How
Some
long
brokers, yeah,
how
go
long
ahead.
do those take, the CC splits and lockboxes take nowadays?
It varies, right? So if a merchant's using one of the partners that we support, generally a couple days, because we have to get that split put in place with a split addendum, and then just we need to see a batch come through. If we're
Hmm.
doing lock boxes, which that it's the L word that brokers will cringe at,
Right.
because it does sometimes take up to a week or two,
Yeah.
depending on how quickly. Because when you're in that process, it's out of your control. It's entirely dependent on the merchant and their processor to get those new banking instructions in place,
Hmm.
and so it does drag on quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, to me, almost normal, right? Because I've been in the space for a while too. So it's just something when it's
Yeah,
compared to the ACH, it's longer, right? And people aren't comfortable with
exactly.
that, and they don't want that. So it just depends on the situation, I guess, as far as how happy a merchant's going to be, and even a broker is going to be, for that particular deal to get done.
Exactly. And we just like to use it as a last ditch option, in the cases where merchants maybe have too many negative balance days or NSFs in their bank account, so they can't qualify for an ACH.
Mhm.
And then they have a credit card processing on the business, but they don't want to switch processors. We like to give them the option. So we want to make it work for them. So I guess it's, either we say no or we have this option available to them. And even though it might take a little bit longer,
Mhm.
we try to make it work for them.
Okay. Without credit pull, that's huge, and you're just you're kind of pulling up the other information that's going to kind of compensate for that, where you're getting quality data in order to underwrite the file correctly.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
looking at strictly the cash flow and then also background check.
Yep. So then tell me a little bit more about, fees and stips and things. And, have you guys been able to kind of reduce any other stips or anything like that?
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with fees. We recently adjusted our fee structure a little bit. We charge a flat $500 fee um, on ACH and lockbox deals, and that
Hmm.
fee is waived on the credit card split deals with a supported processor.
Hmm.
So on every single offer that we make, we give the merchants three options. Option one is going to be through our Abound program, which is our entry level program. And that has no fees at all included on it, but it is a lower dollar amount, shorter term product. And then we're going to have another option, which is our standard product with that aforementioned $500 flat fee.
Hmm.
And then option three is going to be more traditional with what most brokers are used to, where we assess the ACH fee in addition to a underwriting fee and a processing fee. So we like to give options on that, so that way the merchants can compare amongst themselves and see what's best for them, what makes the most sense. Obviously, with option three, with those additional fees, we're able to extend the terms out a little bit more
Okay.
and give a higher dollar amount. So, it really depends on what their needs are. As far
Right.
as STIPs go, we're always adjusting. We're always listening to feedback from our partners. And one of the things was we were doing site surveys before on all deals over $15,000,
Hmm.
and so we adjusted that. I think in the beginning of the year. So now we're only requiring site surveys on deals 50 grand and above.
Okay.
Or if we see there's a special circumstance there where we maybe want to do a little bit more investigative work, so to say, but other than that, we just require that driver's license, void a check, decision logic, or we can do a live login if we need to,
Hmm.
and proof of ownership. And that's pretty much it on most of the deals. I would say 90% of the deals.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And so those site surveys, that was from however long ago, right? Up until now, that's switched up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, and it is an app that they download and they do it themselves. So long gone are the days where we send an inspector out there and it takes
Right.
48 hours and whatnot. So it's a pretty straightforward process.
Gotcha. Okay. With California, Virginia, New York and Utah, tell me a little bit about how you guys are keeping up, speak to, those really actions by these states and how they're affecting you guys.
Yeah, so we have a unique advantage in that our CEO, Heather, is a board member of the SBFA, which is the Small Business Finance Association. And so they're kind of at the forefront of all these things that are happening. We get a good sense of what's coming down the pipeline through her meetings and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of California, we made some very proactive moves earlier in the year where we began sending out automated notices to merchants once they get approved for a deal. So that's part of the California disclosure requirements that are coming down the pipeline. We got some pushback from our brokers, so we turned it off for now for some of them.
Okay.
But what I do let them know that once that goes into effect, we don't really have a choice. We have to do that.
Right.
So we were able to make that move. And then in terms of Virginia, you know, it turns out if you do business with transparency and customer service in mind, it really wasn't that big of an adjustment. Prior to them coming out with those requirements to, state the commission and the fees, we were already presenting that information to our brokers when we send out all of our offers. So really, it was just a matter of adjusting our FRSA a little bit and including that verbiage on there.
Hmm.
So we were ready to go day one. So
Oh,
there was
good.
no, you know,
Lag
lag time
time.
between them. Yeah. I read that some of them, some other funders out there were like shutting off new ISO signups for the week, or they were holding off on that for the week. Luckily we were able to make that adjustment. Our legal team's really good. Our IT team's really good. And so we never had a hiccup there.
That's great. Yeah, that
Yeah.
way to be on top of it for sure. Helps the flow of brokers sending you deals or even getting signed up or
Yep.
all that. Okay. For 2022, what trends have you guys seen? Areas of growth? What's been that experience for you guys?
I think that obviously with all the uncertainty around the economy right now, interest rates are going back up. Banks are being way more selective in terms of output. We are starting to see a pretty massive uptick in volume. I think I speak for a lot of funders in the space when we say that June was a wild, record-breaking month. I think it was our
Good.
highest. Yeah, it was our highest month since COVID began,
Wow.
and it's kind of carrying over into July. So I think things are certainly looking up. I think a lot of business owners are looking to build that cash reserve, that nest egg, so to say, because of the uncertainty.
Okay.
And so, yeah, things are definitely trending upward. I think we're starting to see pre-COVID numbers, and we're here to help. So we're happy to do that, and at the expense of my mental health sometimes. But
Right. Right.
we'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear because it with I guess the Fed's meeting tomorrow or the next day, I can't remember, and it looks like they're going
Oh,
to bump it
yeah.
up another 75 basis points or something. But so then what other, or any changes coming down the pipeline for Elevate, given everything?
Yeah, so like I said, we recently made those changes to the offers, a little bit of a fee adjustment. Um, but we're always monitoring. We're always listening to our partners. The example I like to give is Michael Gora, who is our director of financial planning and analysis.
Mhm.
He's great. So we stay on top of all the trends out there. During COVID, we never stopped funding. We didn't have to cut man hours. We didn't have to cut staff at all.
Wow.
And I attribute a lot of that to us monitoring industry trends. We were shifting towards monitoring consumer habits, seeing, where people were spending money, getting more aggressive in certain industries, dialing things back in certain industries. And so it was a real dynamic, fluid situation, but we were able to adjust through that. And we took so many lessons away from it, right? So as far as what changes come down the pipeline, I don't know yet, but certainly with things happening right now with the economy, with certain industries doing better than others, we do stay on top of that. And so, we'll be able to adapt to whatever comes. And, obviously with our partners, a lot of what we're doing now is visiting them now that COVID has kind of subsided,
Hmm. Good.
and listening to their feedback. We recently visited a few partners up in New York, and we heard things like, we need products that are 8 to 10 months in term. with y'all's criteria, with the no credit checks, with the 3 months in business. And so we listened to that. That's something we adjusted to, which is why we rolled out that new offer, that option 3 offer, where we include the fees, the underwriting and processing fees.
Mhm.
And so we were able to extend those terms out more and meet that demand. And so it's ever changing. We
Right.
understand that this is a partnership. When our partners succeed, we succeed. And yeah, we
Okay.
do the best we can.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you guys are nimble enough and you guys, put things in
Yeah.
action. You're getting some good insight on the market, kind of before a lot of people. All right. Well, good. Well, what else would you want to let brokers know, that are watching this?
I would say, if you guys are interested in anything I had to say, if anything of it, anything sounds good, if you think this might meet your needs in terms of your deal flow waterfall, give us a shout. My email is ken@elevatefunding.com. I'm happy to jump on a call, send you whatever information I have, and help you fund those deals that you might not be able to place elsewhere. Elevate is in for the long term. We've been going for 8 years strong now, and we don't plan on stopping. And I see some of the other funders falling by the wayside right now, but we do business with the long-term goal in mind. We're in it for the long haul. We want to renew your merchants. Yeah, we do right by them, and if that sounds good to you, then get in touch.
Okay, perfect. And I gotta, before we leave, you have the Gator shirt on, so I gotta let everyone know I'm a Gator grad or alumni as well. So yeah, so we gotta represent. We got a football right around the corner. Hopefully, it's a better year this year. But
God, I hope so.
yep, yep. So yeah, you guys are in Gainesville, and so if people didn't know that, that's exactly why you have the Gator shirt on. Um, well, good. Well, I appreciate it, Ken. So I'll let you get out of here and just if we want to get on here, if you have any changes down the line, let me know. We'll have you back on.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right. Appreciate it. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Shane.
next time. All right.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.